everyone. So today we're going to talk about gender confusion and the soul evolution. It's a very heavy topic. I know it's going to rattle some people, and if you are very sensitive about this topic, don't watch this video. It's as simple as that. I'm here to speak the truth, and I'm not going to sugarcoat things. So we have seen many social experiments by the dark forces that we don't see in society as social experiments, and we think it is a natural shift of humanity. The main reason it is so easy to manipulate minds and influence even young children and adults to thinking that they are not their gender is that this generation has no real strong reference to a sacred and divine way to live, so they rebel. So there's a rebellion energy in the air. This gender fluidity idea is feeding the ego because the soul is not fed, and so there is a lack of connection to the soul. And where there is emptiness, there is a space empty. Something is going to fill it up. So when there is an empty space within humanity, the dark forces know this. They see everything, and so they want to fill it up with whatever their agenda is. And again, I'm explaining it on an energetic, spiritual level right now, obviously. So the individual is not acting as a vessel for its own soul, but the ego only, and is opened up to anything that can come and enter and fill that void. And any idea can be implemented and programmed into that individual. So it is not only the medical industry that is highly profiting from this distortion and confusion of this gender fluidity thing, but the dark wizards, as I call them all the time, who want more than anything to make humans forget their true power and own who they truly are, to push them away further from source, as well as from their own inner sacredness and from sacred union, from so many things, from the family, destroying the family unit, destroying the tribal unit. When a parent encourages their child to take hormones and get surgery to change their sex, it is the ego of the parent that is leading the path and not the soul of the child. There is no connection to the actual soul of the child in this case. This madness of the collective ego, which we are all responsible for and affected by, is a desperate call of the selves to connect to source, to God, if you will. When there is no divine example of what a man and a woman is, when we carry so much trauma and confusion from the adults around us, from day one in this life, we will begin to have minor or major fragmentations that open space for any ideology to be the resolution or answer to this inner conflict and this void. Search for power that we may have, or trauma, or so any resolution, so-called resolution, can come and influence the individual or a society at whole or a group of people. Every child needs a healthy example of the divine feminine and masculine in their life since the day they are born, whether they come from men or women. But because we lack this, and on top of that, we live in a growing society of absolute distortion of our sexuality, our family, our tribal system, like I said. Our bodies are being poisoned, our minds are being poisoned with endless low frequency garbage. It is no surprise that children and young adults seek their answer in whatever new agenda is pushed into their minds and what we will offer, what we will give them attention to. And like the new, and today with social media, it's whatever new hashtag is cool and whatever new thing is the coolest. That's what the children are going to cling to because they need something to cling to. And this happens to adults too. But the thing is, when we understand the subconscious mind, when we understand soul fragmentation of trauma, we understand that I want to say all, but I'm going to say most adults on this planet are actually children. We are still walking around in adult bodies, but we are traumatized children. And so it is so easy to influence our mind, our subconscious and our conscious mind in many different ways. This madness will reach a point of breaking, this gender fluidity crap. It's going to reach a point of breaking. I'm telling you right now. And it will create another rebellion which will lead to what people truly need, which is the embodiment of the authentic identity and power, which we lack now. So people are kind of like confused now because they need that absolute embodiment of their authenticity, but because they're lacking that, they're like grasping on that resolution, so-called. So it is so ironic that the need for identity is bringing people now to completely disconnect from their identity. Do you see the irony here? But it will change, because this distortion of the human spirit is not able to sustain itself, because it's not truth. Truth is the only thing that can actually sustain itself and is eternal. All the rest, it can rise up, it can damage, it can bring chaos, but it will fade away. The transgender community today has turned into something violent and ugly. A lie that promises to speak for human rights while wanting to destroy all human rights, as basic as free speech even. The fact that people are afraid to speak their minds against this movement says a lot. Okay? This has to really open our eyes. And I wanna be clear. I will be the first one to march for gay rights. I will be the first one to march for transgenders' rights. But I will be the first one to protect gay people and transgenders, but only if it comes from the authentic soul version of that human and not an external influence that has programmed them. I want people to live in their authenticity. Whatever you're gay, straight, transgender, doesn't matter. But we do not see authenticity today. This is not authenticity. This is not sacred. And I'm going to continue talking about more things that are very, very dangerous also in this agenda. We cannot be bullied by any group to speak our minds. And I urge you to look at any group in this world right now, okay, that tries to distribute lies and silence everyone who speak against it. Another major distortion that, in my opinion, is demonic and evil is the sexualization of children in the LGBT community and transgender community. And again, I will be the first one to protect gay rights. But I draw the line where an adult sexual expression, which is, by the way, mostly today, it's very distorted sexual expression, are brought to schools and kindergartens and in front of children. This is disgusting to me, and it's evil to me as well. Your sexual life and your choices, whatever your sexual orientation is, should have nothing to do with our children. Nothing. Zero. I draw the line when there are YouTubers and TikTok accounts who brainwash children from a young age to be fluid in their gender, to revolt against their parents and family, and to express themselves in a sexual way that is not natural to them. Okay? There is no honor or sacredness in this. There is no beauty in this, and there is no freedom in this as well. This is another cage. You take the child from whatever trauma they're in, and you're putting them in another more horrible trauma and cage. This is horrific. We should have tolerance for all expressions one wishes to have, anyone, as long as they do not hurt or damage anyone else. But there is no tolerance for this confusion and distortion of the sexuality and mentality of others, especially children. I think we need to be very aware of any small groups that act in such a toxic way that demands the entirety of society to change for them, while also acting as bullies and threatening the peace of society. We have enough distortions and toxicity in this world, and I wish to see us evolve and not devolve in worse patterns. This is why I started this school as well. I know that the way we use our sexual energy is directly affecting our human evolution, individually and collectively. I know that the shift will come, as I said, and that this toxicity will push the energy to a paradigm shift for the collective. I know this in my heart. And I hope that we can make sure to cause as little pain and damage we can until then. This is, by the way, one of the main jobs of the sex priestess, as I go over in my initiation, is to reduce suffering in the world. And you can also read about it in my book, The Sex Priestess Manual. It's a really long book, so it will take you a long time to read it. But to reduce suffering, to live in the path of sacredness and true soul authenticity, means that we do anything we can to reduce suffering. And one of the first things is to speak and walk and live truth. Truth is our medicine, and it would literally set us free. So this is yet another attempt from the dark masculine beings, the dark forces, the dark wizards, as I call them in all my books and all my videos, who try to distort and destroy the feminine womanhood and the sacred union, but they will not succeed. The woman is life itself. And to dishonor the womb is to destroy all that is human and sacred in us all. The return to the womb of the Divine Mother is a call many of us hear in many ways right now and have been hearing it for a few years now. And it is the direct path to evolve, awaken, and return home. Have a wonderful week. Please subscribe, like, and share so I can continue making these videos and share the work of the temple. And may the goddess bless you all.